let's go ahead and get started. We probably won't be a full hour, but you're probably catching that trend from me. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And we will start here. So tonight we're going over session 3. Do I have the wrong one up or did I not change? Good grief. You didn't see that. I recycled this. I changed it up here. But I forgot to change this and the date. Okay. All right. Pretend you didn't see that. I'll cut that part out of the video. I'm the queen of copy and replace and edit from there so that you don't do any extra work you don't have to do, right? So this is tonight's learning targets. And I'll just give you a moment to read through them and ingest them. So before we get into like the meat of the learning targets, I want to take a moment to have a bit of a brainstorm with you and talk to you about where are we with launching the CCLEs and that, because I haven't shared any information that Kim and I have collected yet with you. So I want to take a moment, do that, and then I want to brainstorm some. So Kim sent out last Monday her principal's newsletter, and the link was supposed to be in there to register, and the link was not hot, so we had to send it out, and she sent it out just as a empty link, right? Here's the link that wasn't working. And that's all we've done to really advertise the CCLEs. We had a meeting this morning, and I really think we need to do a little bit better job marketing and wooing the kids into these, and perhaps even contemplate an incentive for them, right? So I was thinking about like a series of emails that will really highlight each club separately. I'll check that because I have been having audio problems. Oh, hey, that's good to see you, Brianna. I didn't see that you're not in, so thanks for letting me know. So let me show you what we have so far. Here's what we had registered with just a handful of kids. We didn't expect a lot. I did expect a few more than this, though. And interestingly, the ones that I thought were going to be big hits weren't necessarily. So we have 3 for Paul's musicians meeting place. Oh, Paul's not with us tonight, is he? No. 2 for the game of life, which is basically how to get a job. That's, you know, that kind of stuff. Writing a check and all that kind of stuff. The Secret Service mission team, that's Melissa, that's your team. You were the most popular in this very small group of kids. And Brianna P., you had 1 for homework helpers. So you'll see that we didn't get a lot. We have some people that are interested in a second one. I'm not sure that how that'll go, but then we got 2 kids and Fit Kids over there for the second ones. And this young man, you see that's a kindergartner. Just in case you looked straight down and didn't notice the K on the left side of the column. And Robert, I don't know what he is. I only was able to ascertain that he's open campus. So this is kind of where we're at. So what I was thinking is an email out specific to highlight each one of yours separately. But before we did anything else, we wanted to take some time to brainstorm with you guys, and that's where these questions came from. So some of them are about getting started. This one should be really up top because I started here and then I started adding questions. And these aren't limited to these questions, you know, like I added, other questions should we be thinking about? So in planning from the very beginning with the SIP team, some of you sat on the team that worked on this objective. And working through your proposal and putting all the Padlet and everything together. What are we missing? What else should or could we do? How do we get the kids engaged? And those of you that do have a few kids, how do you want to get started? What was your thought process on that? What do you want to do about attendance? I have ideas, of course, but I want to see what you guys are thinking before we just kind of tell you this is what we're thinking. Okay. So I've yammered a little bit. What reflections or thoughts do you guys have on this?
I mean, could we post something in our Google Classrooms maybe? Telling them they need to sign up by a certain date?
That's a good idea. I think maybe giving them a date would be helpful, right? Because it adds a urgency to it. I'm going to take notes. So if I'm not looking at you, you know why, right? I'm taking notes.
Yeah, maybe sending an invite to those specific learners who have signed up for our club, and then, like Brianna said, giving them a specific date that they needed to sign up by.
So you want to send like a little invite or for the kids that are already signed up for you, right?
Yeah, because they're not in our Google Classroom yet, right? So we could send them an invite to the Google Classroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, those 4 or 5 learners.
To get them, go ahead and get them started.
Mm-hmm.
And then resend with a date. How long do you think we should give them? Like, what are you thinking is a good turnaround time that's enough time but not too much time?
What was the date we had, Brianna and Bonnie, to start our the first mission? Do you guys remember? I know we talked about it.
We talked about trying to get things up and running for November. So Friday is November. We talked about posting the missions for the 3 levels and then letting them go for the month to finish the mission and post it back. So we just need to decide what 3 missions to post, and then I think we're ready. We can start inviting people to that classroom.
Okay. I didn't know you snuck in there, Wani. Good to see you.
I'm sneaky like that.
So what if we sent it back out again with a November 1st deadline, so they have to sign up by Friday to get it? I mean, and here's another question that I had this morning in the leadership team meeting. Can they just keep signing up? Could we just get started and just keep? That's kind of my thought. But
why would we say no? You can't join when that's our whole thought process.
Yeah, I was thinking let's just go with who we have and just keep advertising and keep piling on if we could. And those of you that have a few kids, encourage them to encourage other friends, right? You know, I know some of them actually do have friends within that are classmates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if we post what we're doing, like highlights of stuff that's going on, then maybe that'll spark interest too. So we need to figure out some way, like Kim sends out that letter, or, you know, we can send highlight videos of what the clubs are doing, the clubs that are not clubs.
Don't be using that word. Okay. So, and like I'm thinking, then maybe we don't even need a due date like we want them in. We want to encourage them to, if you want to get on the first round on the kickoffs, then you have to have your name in by November 1st. But you can enroll always. You can sign up anytime, right?
That might be a little quick of a turnaround, like it's only a couple days.
Well, they've already had a week and a half.
That's true, but if we're going to do like specific promotion, like I'd love to volunteer Leslie I'm sure she would do a quick, like, exciting video for like, just to get some excitement out there about the reading club.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. I'm I'm going to open the Padlet because I think you can see, if I can figure out how to get to the new Padlets. While I'm doing this, did you guys all get your school Padlet set up, or did you have any problems with that? I sent out the directions about we purchased Padlets so you can have as many as you want. If you do run into anything, just let me know, okay?
I signed up.
I signed up too.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
good.
did as well.
All right, so
I need a lesson on how to do it though. So
Me too.
Oh, so hey Melissa, your video has been removed.
Why? I didn't remove it. I didn't do anything.
Huh? That video. So I wanted to
It
show
was
you
just
guys.
working the other day. I saw it. I like tested it.
So to see what you're talking about, Wes, these two both had pretty cool videos attached to them. And they were, I mean, two of the ones that got some kids enrolled.
Yeah, they showed them at the parent engagement night, and
Oh,
Leslie did a really nice presentation there, like in person. That's why I kind of threw her under the bus there. But I mean, if she could just record herself doing that same presentation for 15, 20 seconds, I think it would get kids a little more excited.
all right. Well, you want to take charge of asking her?
Sure, I'll do it right now.
Okay. And if she can just post it in YouTube and then send me the link, that's perfect. But we also didn't have anything like that for the Fit Kids, nor the Play the Game of Life, which I was shocked. But I mean, they're seniors; they're worried about these things, so it makes sense. All right. So that's good. Some good answers. Some good feedback to my questions here. Attendance wise, I'm gonna run this past you. Yeah, if I can find it quickly. If I can't, I might not. There it is. Alma has an activities management piece to it. So I thought about putting each of your activities in here and letting you kind of keep track of who's participating in Alma. If that's too schoolish or too cumbersome for you, and I guess you won't really know, but I'm thinking you're already in here taking attendance for other things. You just go to one more tab every once in a while and fill this in, and then all the data is within the student system. What do you guys think about doing some tracking of who's, so what I would do is I would create your activity in here, assign you guys as the teachers or advisors, and put any kids that enroll from the Google form, I'll put them in your list. And that's how you'll get your list of kids.
is that something Kim wants to track numbers? Is that why you want us to take attendance? Because I'm not really sure where you're going with that.
We have to do, because this is, it's not really an attendance. We have to do it for school improvement. We have to say how many kids are engaged in it.
Right. So you just want it for a numbers thing. So, okay. Well, that might be the best place to do it then, because it's already done and no use trying to create something different. You know what I mean? So, and like for us, for Bree and Melissa and I mean, like we're going to do 5 missions. So they would get attendance for 5 missions if they do them. So it would be a good way for us to track who completed the 5 missions.
Yeah. Well, and eventually this is going to roll out so that the kids can see their grades and stuff. So eventually kids will have accounts in Alma, but I don't know. I was just thinking, I don't want another Google spreadsheet somewhere that I had to keep track of. That's really was part of we have to keep some sort of data, and I just didn't want to track another thing down. So if you guys don't have any real like objections to trying to use Alma, I think that's what we're gonna do.
I think that would be fine, just as long as we're clear on when you want it. Like, would you want it on Wednesday, us to update it every Wednesday, because that's when we do attendance, or I guess would it look different for each group depending on when we meet?
That's a really great question, because not everybody's going to meet synchronously, right? So, I mean, it's similar to how you have to judge with your kids for classes. I was kind of thinking monthly. Maybe that's too far out. We have to do reports, Kim and I, every other week. So we could definitely do every other week, but it might be easier to remember if you just did it every Wednesday when you do your other attendance. I don't know. I'm up for whatever you guys think for this, first go around here. Is it easier just to do it?
I think monthly is fine.
Mm-hmm. You think when you meet with clubs in like a bricks and mortar school, you don't meet that often.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll just look for you to update it that they were active, and I'll kind of play around with how this is going to portray in here. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but okay. So monthly. Get you guys to do all my work. No, I'm kidding. Really, I want to make sure that you guys have a voice in all this as we go forward. So I will get Alma set up. I'll get your list in there and notify you, and then you guys start running with it. And we'll continue to send out some different announcements and stuff, and maybe we'll target the ones that don't have any learners in them right now to try to get the word out for those. And then we'll come back around to the other ones.
Here's my
I
one
could try to tie mine into my environmental science classes for fit stuff, even into some of our lessons as far as taking a hike or my latest one, they have to go out in the community and find rocks. I mean, that's still a part of getting out there and being fit. So I could even try to tie some of that into.
Okay, that sounds good to
classes.
me. Yeah, good idea.
You may have already said this, so I apologize if you did. But in Alma, how are we going to have a list set up if just the kids that sign up are going to show up there?
Yeah, so I'll keep this form going and keep advertising this form.
Okay.
Once I enroll them or set them up in Alma for whatever club they first register for, I'll just do a strike through on them.
Okay, so if we magically get students to come that didn't sign up, then just let you know that, I guess, to have them added.
Yeah, just send me a quick email and I'll add them.
Okay.
We're not going to overthink this. We're going to keep this simple.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. But that would be awesome if you had some kids show up that didn't officially.
Trying to think positively.
Well, it's possible. Anything is possible. I've learned with these kids. They'll say, I thought I signed up. All right. What other questions are we not thinking, and then am I not thinking about that you have as you start to kick off here and get things moving? Anything else you need from me? Okay, well, you keep thinking about that. Just know that I'm here if you do. If you run into something, you're like, oh, I never thought about this, or what was I supposed to do for here? Just let me know, okay? All right, we're gonna move on, and I'm not gonna do a lot of these things. I'm gonna post these in Canvas for you to consume at your leisure, some of this explore stuff. But the one thing I do want you to do is I have down here, I'm going to give you a few minutes here, probably 5 minutes to do this. I have two decks of vocabulary words, one that's for service learning, and then one that's for CASEL or SEL. So CASEL is really SEL, they're the same thing, right? CASEL is a site that supports SEL. What I want you to do, because we're going to have a little bit of conversation about what service learning is and how you could bring those thoughts and strands into your CCLE, no matter what your topic is. But I want you to first kind of take a look at these two sets of vocabulary and be able to come back and share, where do you see how CASTLE intersects with service learning, and then how does that intersect with possibly your CCLE you're working on, and how you can, going back to this learning target that we have up here that's way too wordy. But so applying the SEL and service learning concepts to your CCLE. So you guys do not know or have a clue where to get to this spreadsheet or this Google Doc. So let me give you in the chat. Whoops. Okay, so whoops, sorry, just went to Brianna. Okay, now went to everybody, so you can get to that slide, this slide deck now. I'm going to put some of this in Canvas later, so just skip over to slide 4, and you can get to these 2 links here. And I'm going to put up just a 5-minute timer while you just peruse these 2 sets of concepts. All right, let's not let it beep and scare everybody. All right, let's come on back. I just put a new link in the chat for you. I was going to do this in Canvas, but might as well keep you right here focused instead of worrying about Canvas right now. So a little activity that we're going to do as far as the explain goes. We're going to take what you thought about with that exercise and all those concepts and where we've been with SEL. We talked about Castle a lot, how that fits with service learning. So instead of me giving you your explain prompt, I want you to write your own prompt and then you're going to answer it. So what I want you to do is you're going to pick a color for your name or for your writing. Put your name in parentheses, and I want you to write your question. I'll give you more details in a minute. And then I want you to answer your question. And then keeping your same color, I want you to go to somebody else's and respond to their question. And we're just going to run this Google Doc just like it was a spreadsheet. Wesley, you're ahead of me. So I put in here, that's fine. Go ahead, go for it. I don't care if you're ahead of me. Here is a set of Bloom's question prompts in case you're struggling, like how you're going to write your own question. I'll make it as big as I can, and then you guys can zoom in on your own screens. So there, Wes has got purple, and he's going to write his question out, and then just be cognizant that the doc will move as you guys are adding. So watch for the revolving place where your cursor is at, okay? Understood? Anybody have any questions? Looks like you're all busy already. I'll kind of keep mine here so that you can see that at all times.
I'm sorry, what was the question we're asking again about?
You're writing your own question based on what we just talked about with your CCLE, your Castle, the vocabulary you just went through. Where's the connection with service learning? Anything you write your connection that has anything to do with the stuff we've talked about. So you have free reign.
Is that what you mean? Am I on the right track?
Yep, sure. That's you. It's your question. I'm thinking like the SEL, but how's it relate to your CCLE you're doing? How does service learning play in there? Is service learning similar to the SEL or the Castle stuff we've been talking about? Any of those things work. So then after you write your question, you have to answer your own question.
Did you say we answer our own question and somebody else's?
Yep. After you answer your question, go find somebody else's that you want to respond to. Just like a discussion about what we're doing. I'm going to put up for a moment just so you can remember what those 5 domains for SEL were. We'll make it a little bit bigger. Too, just to keep you thinking. Give you a couple more minutes. Do me a favor, when you are done, just put done in the chat. Don't forget to give me a done in the chat when you feel like you're done. Don't overthink this. Going back so you can see those again. Sorry. Bonnie, did you and Brianna go back and comment on somebody else? I'm missing it. Oh,
Yeah, I did. I commented on Kim's, I think.
I failed to scroll down.
I didn't, sorry.
That's all right. I'm gonna let those of you that are still working go keep working there, and we can come back to this. I want to kind of keep moving along, but I feel bad rushing you. But I'm gonna go on back to the slides. Thank you for humoring me with that. And my basic goal for all this was really for you. A couple of things that we had in our SIP was to address, of course, SEL and the sense of belonging and the sense of giving and being a part of a mission or something bigger than themselves in these activities also. And this session, part of it was supposed to be about service learning and how service learning is, what it is. It's not just something you do outside the curriculum. Service learning is really about the curriculum being something you do for the better good of everybody else. So you learn while you're doing it. It's not an add-on activity, right? So I think that most of you kind of we're getting there. There are more resources in this Explore. This video is phenomenal here if you have a chance to come back. And I'm gonna, so I'll be in Canvas eventually, maybe by tomorrow, if fingers crossed. But what I do want to talk about before I lose you is your one job embedded task that you have for this. And there's a lot of words on this screen, so please ignore that. It does not as hard as it looks by all the words. So there's basically two parts of this job embedded task you have here. The first one is there's a playlist of videos linked here. And I'm just going to let it load. Pause it. You'll see that there's a ton of videos in here. Well, maybe not quite a ton. There's exactly 69. And they're all about empathy, service learning, social and emotional skills. They're all super, super moving stories. You get to pick whichever one you want in this list. And I want you to watch it. And I particularly want you to focus on how the video makes you feel in your initial reaction. So this is kind of a non-academic task for you here. I want you to really think about your affective side of you, and then also be thinking about those 5 areas of the castle here and how those the video, and you might want to watch the video that you pick a couple of different times. After you're done with that and you've written down kind of your feelings, your initial reactions, your emotions, whatever you want to share here or think that comes to you, again, try to keep it non-academic, okay? Then you're going to move to part 2. And in part 2, you can use 1, 2, or as many of the questions I have listed below to either record a video of yourself, or if you're not a video kind of person, I'm happy to take something written or however you want to share, okay? I thought a video is probably the quickest and easiest thing for you to do. I don't care if it's a Loom, I don't care if it's a YouTube, I don't care if it's a Zoom video, whatever gets the job done for you, I'm good with. And you're going to pick at least one of these questions to answer based on the notes that you took while you were watching the video. And you're just going to share about your feelings. And I do have the word learned in here. I toyed with the word learn. I have it a couple of different places. It is a non-academic, but we still learn about our behaviors, our character, the way we approach people. All those things are learning also. So that's social, emotional part of learning. And then there will be a place for you to submit this on a Canvas discussion board because, and I want you to know that it is going to get shared on the discussion board. When you share it on the discussion board, grab the video link for just that particular video that you pick, okay? And post that video link with however you post your reaction to it. So I am sure that you have some questions about these directions. What are you thinking? What questions do you have for me?
When's it due? When are you posting it?
That is a great question. I'm hoping to get it up in the next day or two. You have a copy of the slides, so you can get started anytime you want. December 2nd. So you have loads of time, but don't put it off because you have loads of time. But you can take the advantage of if you have any holiday break in there. Because I will not see you guys in the month of November for PD. Next week is coaching. So if I haven't established a coaching time, I need to get you guys set up for a coaching time. It doesn't have to be next week if next week's bad for you guys. Some of you, I think, I already have coaching set up for. And we can talk about this in coaching, or we can continue to talk about your CCLE, and we'll work on your agendas. This will be coming out later this week. So loads of time. What other questions do you have for me about it? Because it's deliberately a little loose as far as I want this to be with you really kind of checking in on the social and emotional side. No questions? The directions were better than I thought they were? Or you just, so as with anything else, when you have your questions, just drop me a hangout or send me an email and we can talk more. If I'm really lucky, these will get posted tonight, but I'll send you guys a quick note once it's up in Canvas in case you want to get it done and off your plate early. Okay. But otherwise you have it as far as at least to watch the video and start picking out your video. Don't be like me and get lost in these videos, because I was getting ready to do a sample for you guys. And I am going to post a sample whenever I get it up in Canvas. But I got lost. Like I had watched 5 or 6 of these before I was like, realized, oh, wait, I'm out of time. So there are some really, really good ones in here. But you might end up watching way more than just one. Your first one comes to you. Okay. All right. Well, if there aren't any other questions, there's a quick express, but this one really is a reflection and an express, but I'll post that in Canvas. I'm not that concerned about this one. This really was supposed to be modeling, so I was following through with the modeling, but this is the one that I really want you to think about. And I want you to think about how all this stuff is playing in together to help you hold the best possible experience in your CCLE, right? How this all tie together. All right. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm going to let you go a few minutes early. I will hang out. I'm going to go ahead and turn the recording off. I appreciate you being here tonight. And those of you that didn't quite get done over here, if you could just make sure you finish this for me. And I'm going to probably post this over in Canvas also as a link. Otherwise, I think we're good to go. And like I said, if you have any questions,